Hollow one on Chad's side. That's a pretty stock list. He's not playing the Lingering Souls build. On Austin Matthews' side, he's playing Temur Moon. This is mostly looks like a Blue Moon strategy. Playing green for 4 Tarmogoyf, 2 Tireless Tracker, and 2 Huntmaster of the Fells.
I can't hear the words Temur Moon without thinking of Jeff Hoagland and thinking of the card Boomerang, but the spells in this deck are quite a bit more powerful than Boomerang.
Well, there's only 2 Blood Moons in this, so it's only a little on the Blood Moon strategy.
Yeah, when you have 3 colors of spells, it's tough to go too heavy on Blood Moon.
And I generally think the Moon strategies have trouble with graveyard decks, especially Game 1. Now, Chad's on 5 cards in our first game here, so that will certainly help Austin out.
The overwhelming majority of mana that Black-Red Hollow One produces in the first place is already red mana. So it's a graveyard deck, and it doesn't care about Blood Moon when it's casting its spells. So yeah, Blood Moon doesn't really play here. Tarmogoyf is pretty good in the matchup. It can outsize Hollow One very effectively. It only costs 2 mana to come down. You know, Fatal Push answers it, what have you, though they tend to be heavier on Lightning Bolt. We have 4 bolts here. Looks like no pushes in the main deck.
Now I turn on Flameblade Adept from Chad.
That's one that you frequently do want to Lightning Bolt.
We'll see Goblin Lore from Harney. Much like a Dredge deck, the Hollow One deck can play on 5, even on the play. Can get a lot of, Goblin Lore, the right Goblin Lore can be a draw spell.
Right. Discarding Flamewake Phoenixes, discarding Blood Ghasts, having Hollow Ones left over, so you have that kind of ritual effect. This card can generate some very serious value.
It's going to pump Flameblade Adept up to a 4/2. So, Bloodghast, Collective Brutality, and Faithless Looting into the yard. That seems just fine.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a Hollow One left over. Swings for 4. Says go, no Hollow Ones.
Looks like there is a Burning Inquiry in the leftovers, at least 1 land.
Yeah, land, an Inquiry, and a 3rd card.
It means that the Adept will keep chipping in.
Yeah, absolutely. Burning Inquiry will pump it 3 more. That land will get back Bloodghast. A lot to like here. See what Austin can present. His creature base, 3 Snapcaster, 4 Tarmogoyf, 2 Tireless Tracker, 2 Huntmaster. What he does have is to deal with early creatures. He has some Electrolyzes, full set of Lightning Bolts, and a Forked Bolt.
This deck list, it's a bunch of 2, 3s, and 1s. This is either masterfully crafted, chiseled over playing many, many leagues,
or it's Teamer Box.
Or sloppily scrawled on a piece of paper at 3 in the morning today.
He'll cast Opt on end steps. Austin goes to 15, fetching up a basic island. Tarmogoyf made by Austin Matthews. Now, that's not going to be able to block Flameblade Adept this turn. That creature has Menace. Austin carefully getting a basic.
You get the basic, not so much about Blood Moon, but about your life total.
Yeah.
He's already getting hit by this Flameblade Adept. You see there's that Blood Gas there. Things can snowball pretty quickly. You might be getting Phoenixed on this turn. Tarmogoyf already quite large. We have instant sorcery creature land, the basic for. This matchup we can add Artifact with Hollow One, and Matthews has Spreading Seas. This Burning Inquiry could theoretically put one of those in the graveyard. Blood Moon as well. Jace the Mind Sculptor. This Tarmogoyf can get quite large.
Flameblade Adept attacks just for 1. Not going to fire off the Burning Inquiry yet, will Chad. Interesting to see what he's going to cast here. Maybe he picked up a Gurmag Angler. That would make some sense.
Yeah, you would have to delve 4 to leave the Faithless Looting exactly behind.
Yeah. Anything else, and we would have seen it pre-combat. And that's going to be exactly it. Gurmag Angler, turn 3 here, leaving Faithless Looting. Remember, this was a mold of 5 for Chad. You can almost forget it.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen a lot of extra cards produced. Faithless Looting is really powerful.
Yeah. Well, actually, he didn't
Goblin
cast that.
Lore
Goblin Lore.
as
He
well.
didn't cast that looting, did he?
That's just left over. Yeah, that was discarded by the lore.
Temur Moon, not a deck to capitalize too much. It's a good stuff deck.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of the Temur Twin decks when Splinter Twin was around, where you'd see them and it actually had stopped playing Splinter Twin in their decks. They were just Temur No Twin.
Yeah, they were presenting post-sideboard Temur Twin.
Here is Spreading Seas from Austin Matthews. Puts that on, actually just on the the basic swamp.
Yeah, tags the swamp.
All right. Just letting his opponent know that he plays Blood Moon.
Yeah.
That's the only reason right? That's the only read you can have off why you'd pick that and not your duel. You must be a Blood Moon guy.
Yeah.
But right now, Flamewake Phoenix drawn from Chad. This is going to be interesting. So his hand is Faith. Oh, wow. Is Burning Inquiry, Flamewake Phoenix, Bloodghast? He could just cast the Phoenix, and that's pretty good. If he wanted to really try to get his opponent, he could cast the Inquiry.
Yeah, the Inquiry is kind of dicey. This Faithless Looting gives you a bit more control over what's happening.
Okay, that makes some sense.
Oh,
he finds
gross.
two hollow ones?
The
no.
Inquiry would have been... You can still Inquiry from here if you have a land.
He doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like he
has
too
nothing.
light. He's too light on cards to assemble that as well.
Flamewake and Bloodghast discard. And yeah, those hollow ones still cost 1.
Yeah.
You can't make either.
Not great.
So here's a full swing. I like swinging the Bloodghast on in.
This position is still very good.
Yeah, it's still very good. The Phoenix will come back next turn.
But things could have been broken if he went with the Inquiry.
Adept is a 3-2 from Faithless Looting. Goyf's just a 3-4. Not enough yet.
Got that sorcery out of the graveyard. Block on the Bloodghast, pretty easy.
So 8 damage, is that right? Yeah, Austin will go to 5 here. And he does, says go. So those 2 Bloodghast in the yard. If Austin finds a land, or Chad finds a land, they both have haste.
This is a 3 Cryptic Command deck. Austin's going to need to start finding those, but he's just treading water.
Yeah, we're at that point in the game where he has to be chaining Cryptics.
Yeah.
Things seemed good when Chad mulliganed to 5, but this is a tough matchup for... See, Temur Moon's a fair deck, and it doesn't have a lot of 1-mana interaction. I think when you add those together, you're just on the wrong side of what's happening here.
Yeah, being just a Lightning Bolt deck, I mean, there's Fork Bolt, that one's fine, but there's no secondary color for kill spells. You don't have answers to Gurmag Angler. Not outside of fancy Cryptic Command plays.
And Chad draws a land, so he'll just get back both Bloodghasts. Triggers Flamewake Phoenix, go to work.
Yeah, Austin's at less than 10.
Seems pretty straightforward. Here's the full swing, and there's no Cryptic. This should be game.
Yeah, uncracked, non-red fetch land as well. Can't do too much here.
Snapcaster Mage. Targeting Opt. Can't do anything with it. He'll block 2, take 4, go to 1. Has a fetch land he can't use. He can survive the turn, but that's about it.
Would need a different untapped blue source if he wants to even have Cryptic Command on this turn.
Yeah, draws Blood Moon. I don't think that will do it.
No.
And he'll go to 0. All right. Stylish. I like it. Austin Matthews down game 1 in this battle here on table 1 to Chad Harney. Chad is the hollow 1 player. Up a game. That's the mull to 5.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, that was great.
That's the thing about playing a modern deck that has busted cards in it, right? Yeah, Austin's deck, he has some good cards. Tarmogoyf's a good card. Snapcaster Mage is a good card. Bloodghast and Faithless Looting, that's busted. Gurmag Angler for that it wasn't very heavily discounted actually, but turning on Flamewake Phoenix, that you're kind of breaking some of the rules of the game.
So the Star City Games Creature Collection, our Game Night creatures, are available as pins and tokens at Game Night, but you can also get them at the Star City Games store. We have our Creature Collection on sale now. You can get it on your playmats, you can get it on sleeves, and in player bundles. You have the current one, which is Playing with Fire, our new playmat featuring this dragon here. It's for July. We can also get previous creature collections that you might have missed out on. Find them all at starcitygames.com/creature collection. And over for the match between Austin Matthews and Chad Harney, we'll look at the sideboards. So Austin, despite having a 3-card advantage on Chad, was not able to keep up at all. Let's look at if he can do some of that out of the sideboard. He has 2 Abrades, 2 Anger of the Gods, 2 Dispels, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, a Crumble to Dust, and Negate, a Disdainful Stroke, a Feed the Clan, an Izzet Staticaster, a Grafdigger's Cage, and a Relic of Progenitus.
There's a few things to like here. Anger of the Gods can be really nice at cleaning up Bloodghast, Flamewake Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Abrade buys you some time. It can either kill Flameblade Adept or Hollow One. When I have it in my sideboard, I bring it in here.
Yeah, that seems pretty solid. The Hollow One actually is a hard one for a deck with only red removal to deal with, as it's an X4.
Especially being on Forked Bolt instead of Flame Slash.
Right.
Then you have Is It Static Caster, which lines up very well against Bloodcast. It's not ideal, but it also combines with Lightning Bolt to take care of Hollow One. That amounts to something. And Grafdigger's Cage is actually quite powerful in the matchup. Relic of Progenitus does more of the same, turning off those Bloodghast, Flamewake Phoenixes.
So we'll have that. Is that enough to fix this matchup, or?
These cards all play, and it's one of those things where even when you have all these cards, you're going to lose to the Broken Hands.
Yeah,
you're just one of those decks that's just never going to beat the Broken Hands. And to be fair, the Broken Hands beat most everything.
Okay.
And it's not really cards that fix that. You know, Relic of Progenitus, Grafdigger's Cage specifically, is really powerful against parts of the deck, but then sometimes they just have 2 Hollow Ones on turn 1.
Right. So looking at Chad Harney's sideboard, his is much more compact. 3 Leyline of the Void, 3 Fatal Push, 3 Grim Lavamancer, 2 Explosives, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Ancient Grudge.
There's stuff you can bring in. I think that I would probably bring in the Fatal Push specifically and then call it a day.
Yeah. You saw Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, you saw Tarmogoyf. This is definitely some kind of creature strategy.
Yeah, if you were really heads up when you saw the Spreading Season, based on how Austin plays it, you should know that your opponent's a Blood Moon deck. Do you care? Are Blood Moons even in?
Your deck's pretty much a red deck.
Okay.
Like you're basically mono red. You have some black spells. Like those Fatal Bushes in the sideboard, sure, they're harder to cast, but I would not expect to see too many or any Blood Moons post sideboard.
Yeah, Austin might be boarding them out here. I guess that would make sense. You saw some Snapcaster Mages. That's not enough to board in Leyline, though, I wouldn't think.
No. That's, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, just Fatal Push some things, keep doing what you're doing, remove a blocker. Seems fine.
A good Leyline rule is you don't really want it in games where you wouldn't mulligan for it. And if you mulligan for it against Snapcaster Mage, that's disgusting.
That's
it's also not Rest in Peace against Tarmogoyf. If we're talking about the card Rest in Peace, obviously Hollow One couldn't play that.
But that's a removal spell for Tarmogoyf, right?
Yeah.
Then it's just a 0/1.
If your opponent has Tarmogoyf and Snapcaster Mage, Rest in Peace is something. But Leyline of the Void is asymmetrical. It only hits their graveyard.
Right. So Rest in Peace, a Rest in Peace deck might board it in here, but Hollow One certainly wouldn't.
Right. And it's true that Hollow One can usually just discard the Leyline. You have some effects like that, but I don't know. You justify some pretty poor strategies when you start going down that line. Still have to get to. Discarding Leyline of the Void to your discard spells is a have to. If it doesn't close the game, don't bother with it.
All right. Game 2, Austin Matthews will be on the play. And both players keeping on 7 this time. Austin starts off with the fetch land, nothing else. And for Chad, we'll again see a turn 1 Flameblade Adept. Austin was not able to bolt it last game. Looks like this time, though, he will have Lightning Bolt. Pays 3 life for it, however.
Yeah, well worth it, considering in last game it immediately connected for 4 on turn 2.
Yeah, you certainly want to remove that one. That guy hits very hard out of the Hollow One deck.
Also might have access to some 2-mana spell. In particular, Spreading Seas here could potentially be backbreaking. Even a Tarmogoyf on turn 2 is very powerful.
And we'll see Spreading Seas on the basic mountain for Chad. Draws a Hollow One. See if he has enough discard to get that into play this turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hollow Ones in the hand.
It's funny because all the mass discard is random. So, could you make enough mana to discard it? The answer is always maybe. As long as I don't discard the Hollow. I want to reduce it to 0, but I don't want to discard the Hollow One.
Right. There's some black cards in the hand.
I don't know if he has anything. He might just be land go. Yeah, it's a rough start. He was really must have really been counting on that Flameblade Adept.
Play the deck long enough, you play those games where you cycle a Hollow One. That's the floor.
Yeah. Draws Gurmag Angler. I mean,
it's possible that he has like a Street Wraith. I think that is the black card, one of them at least, hanging out there, where you want to at least guarantee you can cast a 4/4 Hollow One.
Okay, so you wait until this turn. You cycle Street Wraith.
Yeah, and if you find a Faithless Looting, then you're just in business.
Second, he drew Gurmag Angler for the turn and then cycled into Angler. This deck, that's not what you want to be doing.
No.
Well, okay, No, this is actually good. Yes, Collective Brutality. I'm going to...
Well, that only gets you 1 discard because there's no creature to target.
Oh, so he can only make 1 Hollow One. He'll discard Flamewake Phoenix. That's not bad.
Yeah, this is still a reasonable setup. It's not totally busted, but it's doing some things.
And even if Austin remands this, it's still going to work. He's not going to. So we see Huntmaster of the Fells, Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command, and Opt.
Pretty easy to take the Cryptic Command here.
Yeah. Love to take the Huntmaster of the Fells. If Austin draws that land with the Opt, Huntmaster's going to be hard to beat.
I mean, Huntmaster's well and good, but it won't be long before Chad can actually start casting Gurmag-Egglers, start bashing into it.
Takes, yeah, you're absolutely right, the Cryptic Command.
Yeah, gets to put a hollow one on the table this turn. Lightning Bolt doesn't quite do it here.
Opt for Austin. This is with the hollow one on the stack. I don't think that's going to matter too much.
Yeah. Just a little bit of posturing there.
Finds a land off the Opt and then draws a land. So no problem for Huntmaster. Austin down to 14. So we've gotten into the mid game. Austin didn't get run over like last time. So now I think it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can overpower in the mid game. Hollow One still does powerful things at this point. It's
right. Yeah, Huntmaster is a reasonable payoff. It's not huge. Chad doesn't have any problem attacking into it, in part because he gets to cast Gurmag-Eggler on this turn. It's also going to be bringing back that Flamewake Phoenix. It's like another Phoenix was the pickup there. Because of the Spreading Seas, does not have the ability to just hard cast that one. And he seems to have been light on ways to discard it out of his hand so far in the game. But at least you get to shove the hollow one into the Huntmaster. You're fine if the both creatures block. You're fine if you connect.
Yeah, Flamewake Phoenix.
It's gone.
It's just flies away. Out of the graveyard, off the table. There we go. Here's a swing. Austin can double block the hollow one. I don't think we'll see that.
A block would be a bit surprising. A block of any type.
Yeah, he takes the full 6, goes to 10. Now remember, Chad has to cast a spell this turn, which he will. Tassiger the Golden Fang actually is an excellent spell here.
Yeah, that's another creature that can very safely attack into the Huntmaster.
Says go.
And if Austin spends his turn not casting a spell, the transformation's kind of whatever. You take down the Flamewake Phoenix, that just bounces back out of the graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, Austin does have a Snapcaster in his hand. So he could, for example, no spell this turn, flip Huntmaster, then next turn snap Bolt, flip it again, and start trying to play that game.
Yeah. You're getting attacked for a lot of damage here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure if it's enough. It's a line.
Yeah, so the Snapcaster Mage still left over.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Passes the turn. Here's a transform on Huntmaster. It turns into Ravager of the Fells. 4/4 trample. And then it deals 2 to a creature and 2 to a player. And he actually does not go for Flamewake Phoenix. He goes for Tassiger. Puts some damage on that. And we'll finish Tassiger off with Lightning Bolt.
Yep, that's fair. I think another Flamewake Phoenix picked up for Chad. Those aren't working.
Yeah, well, he can't. Yeah, he has to get him into the yard.
Yeah.
See if he can do that. He has a hollow one as well. You know, he's like 1 Goblin Lore from a very nice hand.
Chooses to cycle the hollow one.
You hate to see that.
Going.
I actually had forgotten that card had cycling. You see it happen so rarely in this deck.
Right, he's casting Fatal Push. I'm hoping Wolf Token. Oh no.
Well, this is legal.
This is a legal play, and it doesn't do what he wants it to do because they changed the rules on how the converted mana cost and transform cards work.
Yeah, we're gonna call a judge here. That's unfortunately not in the graveyard.
Yeah, no permanents left the battlefield here. That's a 4-mana spell. Yeah, it was just cycle and then Fatal Push, so there was no opportunity for. So the Huntmaster as Ravager of the Fells is still a 4 CMC permanent now. So Fatal Push can legally target any creature always, right?
Tassiger left. Tassiger left.
Oh, that was at the
left play. Tassiger left play. Okay, so it's gone, right?
That was the upkeep. Yep. I forgot that was his turn.
Okay. Yeah, that actually does work then. You can target it regardless, but yeah, so it's a 4 CMC card.
Okay.
Tassiger left, so we're still good.
All right. It's been a long day. That's what I was missing. But you could have Fatal Pushed a 4-mana creature there.
Yeah, the problem with Fatal Push is the way it's templated is you can target illegal things that won't die. It's still fine. They just don't die. Snapcaster Mage on the attack is going to target Lightning Bolt. So he can bolt down the Phoenix. Is he going to double block the Hollow One? Sure, he's going to trade everything.
This is a fine spot.
Just one card in hand for Austin, though. There are some sticky creatures in the graveyard for Chad. I don't know that Austin wins from here, but he's doing the best he can. He has a Forked Bolt in hand.
Yeah, he needed a threat there.
We'll see if Chad has one.
These Flamewake Phoenixes have been tied up for Chad. So Chad has cards in hand, but he really needs to produce something. Well, here's something.
Gurmag Angler, and there's a Flamewake Phoenix in the yard.
And that's the kind of thing where Austin needs Cryptic Command there.
No, actually, Chad, I like how he's max valuing here. He just had to tap out. He could have. He didn't have actually enough mana to get the Phoenix back yet, but next turn it'll be on the way.
Yeah. And Austin at 11, that closes the game very quickly.
Sure.
He has that Forked Bolt. You would need to kind of combine that with a Lightning Bolt, and you would need to do that right now. Electrolyze targeting Angler. He's gambling now. I like the play. You do have to get the Angler off the table if you're going to win this game.
And Tarmogoyf from Austin.
And that would have been fine a while ago. As is, it's a chump blocker. Flamewake Phoenix is going to fly over it. I'm expecting things to go Chad's way here.
Yeah, 3/4 Tarmogoyf, and Austin is behind on life points as well as the board. Land 4 picked up for Chad. It is a second red source. Now, to cast the Flaming Phoenix in his yard and the one in hand, he'd need another red source, but this will still play. Attacks. Ferocious brings back the Phoenix.
It's already looking like Austin's not going to have what it takes to clean up from here. And
Yeah.
that second red source just makes things even worse.
Right. Austin's choices, he could drop to 2 or he could chump his Tarmogoyf. I don't really like either of those choices.
Right. And he's a red deck. You know,
Yeah.
there's no white removal, there's no black removal. 5 toughness creatures are just kind of a blind spot for these strategies.
Flameblade Adept follow up here for Chad Harney. Yeah. And a draw. Forked Bolt is in hand. Well, I think Serum Vision's picked up, so Austin will get a redraw. But he can chain Cryptics all he likes from here. It's not going to matter. He doesn't have a board.
Yeah. Yeah, just tapping and drawing doesn't deal damage.
Yeah. And Chad at 14. Actually, it's Tireless Tracker. I'll correct myself. That was the draw.
That one does even less in the redraw department because you definitely can't Cryptic Command this turn now. And we do know that Chad has not demonstrated the ability to discard cards from his hand for several turns here. So depending on what Chad draws, the Adept only attacking for 1 right now. Combine that with Flamewake Phoenix, though. That's already 5 with those 3 creatures.
And a Forked Bolt down the Menace card. The Adept is gone. Clue in play for Austin. Says go. I mean, he's going to have to chump away the Tireless Tracker.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that he'll get the chance to do that. Bloodghast drawn by Chad Harney. That's going to have haste if he wants it to.
Not a huge difference between casting Phoenix or Bloodghast on this turn. The Phoenix costs more mana, so may as well go that route.
I guess that's flying. Here's the swing. 4 in the air. Tireless Tracker chump blocks. Austin down to 2. He can draw a card for the clue, draw a card for the turn, but that will be all the cards he draws.
Taps the deck as if there's anything he can draw.
I don't know about it. Both cards to bottom. And he has an opt. But he can't even opt into Cryptic. He has Stomping Ground Forest here. And that's going to do it. Chad Harney is your 9-0 player here on day 1. Defeats Austin Matthews 2-0. Now, he may be in first on his own, or he may be in a tie, depending on how Jocelyn Lambari is.